Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. We're live on Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra. We're on Love 99.5 FM. We're on myjoyonline.com. Affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions. We're on Sun City Radio in Keta, Jubilee Radio also in Keta. We're on Dreams FM and A1 Radio in Bolga, Tanga Radio Max in Takrade, and Ganga FM in Jirapa. We're live on X Spaces. We're on Facebook. The Midday News is sponsored by Petrol Sol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrol Sol is always a delightful experience. Also made possible by Duraplus Ghana Limited, producers of quality PVC and HDP pipes and water tank. We are the only water storage tank with a level indicator, and where Duraplus goes, water always flows. This afternoon, pressure mounts on Speaker of Parliament to reconvene the House or be in breach of the Constitution and standing orders 1 week after NPP MPs requested an emergency sitting of the House. We have details, but the minority in Parliament is jumping to the defense of the Speaker, saying he has not breached any constitutional provision.
The Speaker has not breached the Constitution, nor breached the standing orders. So let's be very clear about that. The majority leader knows what he has to do under the standing orders.
Ghana Cocoa Board forced to refund a $250 million loan procured from the Africa Development Bank for irrigation purposes after the consultants revealed the project would be possible due to polluted rivers by illegal miners.
And the report they brought was that almost all the rivers were contaminated. And you cannot use that murky water to do anything with cocoa. Farmers have to transport water from the house in Aboboya, making farming even very expensive.
Cocoa Board also says it decided not to honor payment to holders of its coupons earlier this year to prevent a total collapse of the industry.
It was a major national decision that we have to take together with the board. And for us, we have to save the industry. Prices have fallen 30%. You cannot go and reduce the farmer's price by 30%. No.
And there's a revelation from the Cocoa Board CEO.
If you are taking cocoa on a regular basis, you don't need a doctor. You don't have to go to the hospital. A headache, even malaria. Africa here with all the mosquitoes, you will not have malaria. Can you believe this?
Also in this package, United States government shuts down Ghana's $190 million power compact following a botched PDS concession agreement, as it says it has no immediate plans to work in Ghana again.
We did have a compact with Ghana, and the compact is closed. We were able to complete a fair amount of that work. We're working in a number of energy compacts across the continent right now.
We have details as former President John Mahama fumes at the loss and promises to open a thorough investigation into the deal and punish those found culpable. We have sports.
Former Ghana international Augustine Ahimfo slams Asante Kotoko players, describing them as undeserving to feature for the club.
And much later in the bulletin, not wearing panties fast becoming normal among Ghanaian women due to the excessive heat.
It's been a long time I wore panties. It's been a decade.
That and more in this afternoon's edition of the Midday News. Please do stay with me. I am Emefa Apawu. Many thanks for staying with us. This is your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. And it's been exactly 1 week since the majority in Parliament requested an emergency sitting of Parliament. Speaker Alban Bagbing is still yet to reconvene the House. Sources within the majority are alleging the Speaker will be breaching the Constitution and the standing orders of the House if he fails to issue a recall order by close of day today. So let's do the counting. And Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kweku Asante joins me in studio with more of what we are learning exactly. Kweku, so when exactly did the majority leadership send the request to the Speaker requesting for this emergency sitting?
So, Emefa, this memo from the majority leader himself, attached by an annexure of more than 100 MPs requesting this sitting, was written on the 2nd May, that is last week, Thursday. It was submitted to the Speaker on the next day, Friday, 3rd May, and our checks at the Speaker's office says it was received at 11:43 a.m. And so if you do the counting from then and now, from Friday when the Speaker of Parliament received it and the majority side say they are counting that day as part of it up until today, that is 6 days, that is 6 working days since the letter was sent. And in their contention, the Constitution and the Standing Order says within 7 days, and they contend that by the close of day today, if the Speaker does not recall the House, he'll be in breach of the Constitution.
And within these days, we have still not heard from the office of the Speaker on whether Parliament will be recalled.
Not at all. In fact, the Speaker is currently not in the country. Okay. But the instructive provisions, Article 1123 of the 1992 Constitution says, notwithstanding any other provision of this article, 15% of members of Parliament may request a meeting of Parliament, and the Speaker shall, within the 7 days after the receipt of the request, summon Parliament. This has been repeated in Order 53 of the Standing Orders of the House, which says, despite any other provision, 15% of MPs may request a meeting of Parliament, and the Speaker shall, within 7 days after the receipt of the request, summon Parliament. The majority say that by close of day today, the Speaker of Parliament should issue that recall order, or he'll be in breach, because the Speaker of Parliament cannot go beyond these 7 days, and they count that the close of day today is the end of the within 7 days.
So if he's found to be in breach of the Constitution and Parliament's own standing orders, the majority say what exactly will happen, what they will do?
No, they are quite tight-lipped about this situation. I spoke to a source within the leadership, but they are exploring all other options, including potentially going to the Supreme Court to get a declaration that the Speaker of Parliament has breached the Constitution, and that will mean consequently there will be a motion on the floor to remove him.
Okay, that's a Parliamentary Affairs correspondent, Kwekwa Sante. Well, NDC MPs are jumping to the defense of the Speaker, Alban Bagbing. Member of Parliament's Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee, Roxanne Nelson Dapamakbo, says the Speaker has not breached the Constitution by his refusal to recall the House.
The Speaker has not breached the Constitution, nor breached the standing orders. So let's be very clear about that. The majority leader knows what he has to do under the standing orders. The standing orders are very clear. If that requirement is met, then the Speaker will have to, within the standing orders, issue the summons, recall within 7 days. In the absence of the Speaker, we have the first Deputy Speaker who will act. In the absence of the first Deputy Speaker, the second Deputy Speaker will act. Is the majority leader saying that in the absence of the Speaker, nobody can act? The first Deputy Speaker is a member of Parliament on the ticket of the NPP. The second Deputy Speaker is the minority, is the independent member of Parliament who is caucusing or doing business with the majority in Parliament. So what is their beef?
That's the NDC MP for South Dai, Roxanne Nelson Dapamakbo there. Now, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Cocoa Board, Joseph Boahin Edu, has revealed that the entity has refunded $250 million it procured from the African Development Bank for irrigation purposes in cocoa farms. According to the board, consultants recruited to undertake the project, the Ghana Irrigation Authority advised against indicating any attempt to use water from the polluted rivers due to illegal mining activities would destroy the cocoa trees. Mr. Boahin Edu told a graphic dialogue on the cocoa sector that until illegal mining is addressed, the sector will be at risk.
Ordinary, when the rains are failing, you should have been doing irrigation. Almost all the rivers in the cocoa grain areas are polluted. Cocoa Board Manu went to the African Development Bank to secure some $600 million US. Eventually, you have to return $250 million USD. Part of that money was intended for irrigation. We commissioned the Ghana Irrigation Development Authority to do a pre-appraisal for us, assessment. And the report they brought was that almost all the rivers were contaminated. And you cannot use that murky, muddy water to do anything with cocoa. You cannot use it for spraying. And these days, farmers have to, transport water from the house in Aboboya to the farms, making farming even very expensive. Mm-hmm. Previously, the farmer gets to the nearest stream around the farm, and then he fetches the water to do the mass spraying and all that. But now, you dare not, because the leaves have process, which we call the stomata. And once you spray this muddy water onto it, the mud is going to block, this stomata. And within a short time, you found all the leaves coming down. Mm-hmm. The trees will die. You cannot also use it for irrigation, because it means that you have to be changing your filters almost every day. You have to be changing. It will be so expensive
Well, in January, some holders of cocoa bills who did not participate in the Government of Ghana Cocoa Bill Exchange Program asked Cocoa Board to pay them before the end of January 2024, or the delay by Cocoa Board to pay them their coupons and principals affected their livelihood. Well, the chief executive of Cocoa Board, Joseph Boahengedu, says paying coupons at the time could have collapsed the sector.
Because prices fell, farmers have lost interest in cocoa farming. You could see the despondency in Brongahafo. You go to Brongahafo, you go to the Wenchi area, all that area used to be cultivating cocoa. It's Brekum. You go there today, all those lands that were previously under cocoa were converted into cashew. So we have to take that decision. That is a national interest as against a corporate commercial interest.
Well, the General Secretary of the Ghana Agricultural Workers Union, Edward Kariwe, says until illegal mining is addressed, the cocoa sector will continue to struggle.
There's no way out. We can allow criminality to continue to fester and grow to the extent that it destroys the entire environment. It is not only about cocoa now, because cocoa doesn't stand alone. There is a future. The solution is clear. It is a decision to be taken to say, one, we are going to stop the galamsey. Because there's no, you can't manage it. You can't manage the galamsey. The destruction it leaves behind cannot even be reclaimed. It's not like in any other land use where if one day you don't want to continue to grow oil palm on your farm, you can cut down the oil palm trees and grow rubber, or cut down the rubber trees and grow cocoa. Once galamsey takes place on the farm, and what we know and we see, it leaves behind, you cannot go back there and use it for any other agricultural activity at all, unless you reclaim it, and we don't have that capacity now.
That's Edward Kariwe there. At the same event, the CEO of Cocoa Board, Joseph Boahengedu, highlighted the health benefits of cocoa.
And the recent research is telling us that cocoa can even stimulate, stem cells. And stem cells, how important stem cells are for the body. And if cocoa can, trigger that, how can Ghana afford to lose cocoa and then restore even loss of memory? Can you believe this? If you are taking cocoa on a regular basis, you don't need a doctor. You don't have to go to the hospital. A headache, even malaria. You live in Africa here with all the mosquitoes, you will not have malaria. Can you believe this? We are going into a future whereby cocoa is going to play a major role in the health and nutrition of mankind.
CEO of the Ghana Cocoa Board, Joseph Boahengedu. Now let's focus on PDS, and the Millennium Challenge Corporation has confirmed to Joy News that in spite of the prevailing power crisis, it has no immediate plans to work again in Ghana and has completely closed Ghana's Millennium Challenge Compact. Well, in March 2019, Ghana was at the verge of receiving crucial funding of some $190 million aimed at the long-term sustainability of related infrastructure investments and financial recovery of the energy sector as part of a second tranche of the Millennium Challenge Compact. However, owing to a botched 20-year concession agreement with Ghana Power Distribution Services (PDS), where PDS was to assume operation and management of the staff and assets of the Electricity Company of Ghana, the U.S. government halted the transfer of the funds, saying private sector participation was a central reform under the MCC's Ghana Power Compact. We can hear from the chief executive of the MCC, Alice P. Albright, telling my colleague Blessed Soga that Ghana's compact has been closed and that the MCC has no immediate plans to work again in Ghana.
A couple of thoughts on Ghana. We did have a compact with Ghana, and the compact is closed, and we were able to complete a fair amount of that work. Right now, we don't have any immediate plans to work again in Ghana, but we can always look again to see if Ghana may become a country that we can work with again. Generally speaking, with regard to energy, we're working in a number of energy compacts across the continent right now, because I completely agree with you about how critical energy is to overall development, which is our main mandate. We too at MCC are very committed to a very inclusive approach to economic growth. We didn't get to touch on it earlier, but we work in almost every country on either figuring out how to include women and women-owned businesses into our work or small and medium-sized businesses. So this often takes the form of different reforms that are necessary to enable parts of the society that are typically not included to get included. We've got some wonderful examples, one in Lesotho just recently where there was some laws that were changed to enable women to own, to inherit land. We've got a terrific program that we've just closed out in Morocco that introduced opportunities to a range of people in that country.
That's the Chief Executive of the Millennium Challenge Corporation, Alice P. Albright, there speaking to my colleague Blessed Soga. Now, former President John Mahama has waded into the matter, saying if he's elected president, he will prioritize accountability and ensure a thorough investigation of the PDS deal and hold those found culpable accountable. My colleague Maxwell Aboba joins us in studio with the details of that statement. What does it say more?
He says it is disheartening to learn that the $190 million we negotiated for private sector participation in electricity distribution under the U.S. Millennium Compact has been lost due to Nanado and Baumia's corrupt Yenchindi and cronyistic governance practices. He says this is unacceptable and we deserve better as a people. He says, as I gear up to assume the presidency in January 2025, thanks to your votes and endorsement in this year's elections, I want to assure you that I will work diligently to enhance private sector efficiency in the electricity distribution system, including metering, revenue management, and fault response. He says, my administration will prioritize accountability and ensure a thorough investigation of the PDS scandal and also hold those involved accountable.
And there have been other reactions to this particular development?
Yes, the executive director of ASEP, Benjamin Boache, says Midday was a significant part of the problem. Ghana had to lose so much when it decided to subsume operational decisions under overt and covert political manipulation. $192 million is the tip of the iceberg. The totality of our loss is what we see in the power sector today. #mess.
Okay, thank you very much. That's Maxwell Agbagba there. Let me take you to the Ashanti region now. And President Akufo-Addo and the Asantehene Otumfuo say to the second are expected to commission the Kumasi International Airport named after Nana Ajiman Prempeh I. The commissioning of the airport is to ease air travel from the country's northern and middle belt regions to meet the rising demand for international air travel. An estimated 800,000 air passengers are expected to use the Kumasi facility annually. Nana Boache Dankwa-Yadom has the news desk report ahead of the official commissioning of the project.
Construction works on Phase 2 of the Kumasi International Airport began in 2018. The modern airport, with a terminal measuring approximately 12,000 square meters that meets the International Civil Aviation Organization standards for international airports, is named after the 13th Ashanti King, Sir Osei Ajiman Prempeh I. With Phase 3 expected to be completed in September this year, it will allow for the use of a boarding bridge, an extension of the existing runway, and its associated aeronautical ground lightning system, as well as a fire station and air traffic control.
The link and the runway extension, which we are about to engage in the next few days to restart the taxi link, and then we'll be missing the control tower. The control tower, what is missing there is the installations, MEP installations, finishing and equipment. All the exterior of the control tower and the fire building is already concluded. Have done this, the airport management can migrate here to this terminal, and the control tower can migrate also for the new control tower. Yes. Then once this is done, we will demolish the old facilities.
The airport is expected to commence full operation by September this year, after the commissioning, with an estimated 800,000 air passengers expected to use the new facility annually.
His Excellency the President is so committed to this project, okay, and it's so unfortunate that we had some challenges, but we have gone beyond that. That is why we have found money to pay you, and we're going to pay the balance of €2 million to you. And this is why we won't take any further excuses. You've already done so much. I'm very happy about what I've seen here. I'm not an engineer, so I can't attest to the quality. The engineers will tell us. But what I've seen on the face of it shows that we've done a good job.
This afternoon, President Akufo-Addo, Vice President Bawumia, Asante-Hene Otumfuo Osei II and other government functionaries are expected to commission the project for use. For Joy News, Nana Boache Dankwa-Yadom, Kumasi.
Taking us on a quick break here on the Midday News live on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra and Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM is made possible by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrosol, always a delightful experience. Also brought to you by Duraplus Ghana Limited, producers of quality PVC and HDP pipes and water tank, the only water storage tank with a level indicator. And where Duraplus goes, water flows. We've been talking about the pressure that's mounting on the Speaker of Parliament to reconvene the House or be in breach of the Constitution and standing orders 1 week after NPP MPs requested an emergency sitting of the House. And also, United States government shuts down Ghana's $190 million power compact following a botched PDS concession agreement, as it says he has no immediate plans to work in Ghana again. We return from the break with sport and not wearing panties fast becoming normal among Ghanaian women due to the excessive heat.
It's been a long time I wore panties. It's been a decade.
It's the 3i Africa Summit, where innovation, impact, and investment converge, where technology drives transformation. From the 13th to the 15th of May 2024, heads of state, central bank governors, thought leaders, innovators, investors, academics, and entrepreneurs will converge to unleash Africa's full potential. Discover the power of digital assets, explore the state of digital growth in Africa, and unveil lessons from Africa's central bank digital currency experiments. Engage in discussions on diversity in the creative arts and tech, financing Africa's SMEs and bridging the digital gender gap. Network with investors, pitch your ideas, and access funding at the 3i Africa Deal Room and Pitchfest. Join us at the Accra International Conference Center as we ignite a fintech revolution for Africa's financial future. Visit 3iafrica.com to register now.
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a Petrosol station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
Show time, good life time. Paddy, how is your good life?
Hey, before you attack that sumptuous variety of foods with Toto, do yourself a favor.
Wash your hands with soap under running water, your bowl before you eat, and at all other critical moments. That is,
before you cook, after you visit the toilet, change your baby's diaper,
and when you return home from anywhere.
Let's all come aboard Good Life by washing our hands with soap under running water and at all other critical moments to keep the germs away from our family. Good Life, live it well. It's an everyday thing. Good Life from Ghana Health Service and partners with support from USAID.
Hello Ghana, are you tired of the same old political rhetoric? Do you believe it is time for a change that truly represents the voices of our youth, women and children? I present to you Nana Kwame Bediako. He is a visionary leader with a passion for making our country better through innovative industrial revolution. Together, we can change the political narrative and create a government that truly represents the interest of all citizens. Join this journey to build a better and inclusive future for all by contributing to our Save Ghana Fund campaign. Your support, no matter the amount, is not just a donation. It is an investment in the shared desire for a more prosperous purpose, equitable, and better nation. To donate, visit www.nkb.com.gh or dial *887 *2024 #. Thank you for your support.
Thanks for staying with us. Time for sports. Mubarak has the latest.
Yes, Emefa. So former Ghana international Augustine Ahemfo claims some current Kotoko players do not deserve to feature for the club. Following a string of poor results, the Porcupines have fallen to 10th position, trailing league leader Samatex by 12 points with 5 matches to end the season. According to Ahemfo, the struggles are largely due to poor recruitment.
Some of the players within the protocol center currently are not supposed to be there. Really? I can say that as a technical person. If Dreams FC has a feeder club that they will feed the first team with, why can't Asante Colorado have a very good feeder team that when players are matured enough, 17, 18, they push them into the first team, and because they have learned the Asante Kotoko method, immediately what? Asante Kotoko has that spirit behind it.
Yeah, that's former Ghana international Augustine Ahemfo speaking to Love FM's Delali Atiasi.
Thank you, Mubarak. And it's time for your election headquarters made possible by Petrosol, Clean Fuel in Full Quantity, SIMA, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, SIMA, AICPA and SIMA together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants and the German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental Wellness and Beauty. And this afternoon, political party agents in some districts of the Ashanti region have expressed their dissatisfaction, with the Electoral Commission for resorting to offline registration in the ongoing exercise. On the third day of the registration exercise, the Electoral Commission resorted to the offline registration process as a backup for the internet and technical challenges that affected the process on the first and second days of the exercise. We can hear from some of the agents.
I would gladly put it that there's not an inconsistency on the part of the EC, because looking at the number, even for today being the fourth day, look at the number, it's very huge. The first day that was online, we registered only 11 from this polling electoral area, constituency. The following day, we managed to do, I think, 62 or so. So it was very, very, very low, the turnout. And the students were coming in, they were trooping in. But when they switched off to offline, we managed to register 202, meaning it's a huge sort of jump. So we are encouraging that if the online system will delay the process, why not switch to the offline so that everybody can register? Those who have turned 18 can register.
An agent there in the Ashanti region, well, we can hear from Director of Electoral Services with the EC, Dr. Srebo Kweku. He has some reservations about the offline system.
Now, the offline, I myself, to be frank with you, I'm not comfortable with the offline. The reason being that people who have already registered may succeed in doing registration, and you can only detect it after the duplication has taken place. And that may lead to people being disenfranchised. Because once you do multiple registration, your name will be off. So I myself will always go for the online.
That's Dr. Srebo Kweku, Director of Electoral Services, and it is fast becoming the new vogue for many women in Ghana to avoid wearing panties underneath their casual and formal attires. A significant number of both the young and old are citing current high heat levels as a reason for their refusal to put on knickers as it presents them with discomfort. Love FM's Marie Tremanting and Winifred Fusua have more in this report. Read to you.
Faustina Boateng, a trader at Ehija, has for the past decade not seen panties in a closet after throwing away the ones she owned.
It's been a long time I wore panties. It's been a decade.
The past months have witnessed temperature increase across the globe, with February reported to be the hottest month thus far. Despite the growing weather concerns, some women still opt for undergarments occasionally. Nana Adwa, an accessories vendor at Tech Junction, indicated that the intense heat makes it unbearable for her to wear panties while working, but opt for shorts.
Once I wear them, I'll rush home and remove them to have my comfort.
The new normal is affecting sales of panties on the market as vendors bemoan financial losses. A lingerie retailer, Ifya Yeboah, is lamenting the challenging market conditions as she recalls decline in purchase of her wares.
Now, they don't like buying the panties. Some say it's not comfortable to wear.
The issue is not just a concern for women. Some men find it sexually appealing for spouses not to wear panties. I prefer my partner not wearing panties. A university student, Bernard Opoku, shares an opposing view. He prefers his girlfriend in panties, which he says makes him sexually active.
That's a report read to you, put together by Marie Tremanting and Winifred Fusua. And it's a good time to take you to M&J. We are not talking about panties. No need to talk about. What are people talking about on social media?
Well, Emefa, Kofi is trending.
Kofi Kinata.
Yes, and that's the title of Kinata's first ever EP. People have been waiting for it. He dropped it yesterday, talking about it's a 7-song EP. People have been expressing their opinions about it. Let me just read this comment quickly. Someone says Kofi EP is huge and carries lots of messages from Antiama to Overthinking. It's a bomb. He really do Yeah.
And this one is also trending.
Yeah, came in again when I was supposed to. Dumbing and I had nobody to go to.
What's happening with him?
Okay, so Sako is trending after dropping a song off his championship mixtape. So this one, what you're hearing right now, is called Brag. Yes, and it means best rapper among goats.
Hey. Yes.
No. A lot of comments. Jackie?
Yeah, so someone says that Whiskey came and I was already doing it. The video started when I was improving it. And the question is, are you bigger than them? You know, that was a line in the song. He says that he's bigger than Whiskey and Davido and all that. Yeah.
And what's it with Manifest also joining in?
Well, Manifest actually posted a photo of a man holding a rifle looking through a window, but he's deleted that. And then he came to post again M. So Twitteratists are asking, could this be a sign of an imminent rap beef? The last time the two of them, they have a history. The last time that they did, something like this happened.
Well, that's how we wrap up today's edition of the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I am Emefa Apawu. Enjoy your weekend. We have Living Word working with the new episode 2.